If you suffer from diabetes, managing your diet is a fundamental aspect of controlling blood sugar levels. But did you know that some vegetables are better allies for your health than others? That's right. Welcome to a special episode of our Nutrition Tier List series. In this video, we will unmask the imposters and crown the authentic queens among vegetables if you have diabetes or following a low-carb diet and low-sugar diet. Let's thoroughly unveil the properties of these green majesties and rank them based on their ability to control sugar spikes. Which ones are rich in fiber and low in glycemic index? What other nutritional surprises do they hide? Today, we will find out. Let's take a closer look to uncover nutritional secrets. The thing is, when it comes to vegetables and managing diabetes, it's important to understand that not all options are equally beneficial. That's why today, we'll be looking closely at glycemic index, fiber, and carbohydrates. These factors give us a clue about how they can impact sugar levels. However, some vegetables hide other virtues that we might not even imagine. Who knows what antioxidants or special compounds we might discover? Our main goal is to equip you with valuable information so that you can make informed and delicious decisions. So, to help you make the best selections, we've categorized vegetables into 5 tiers based on their nutrition profiles and glycemic impact. Topping the charts are the superfoods, true nutrient powerhouses thanks to their low carbohydrate content and high fiber, making them exceptional allies for stable sugar level control. In the excellent tier, you'll find those with antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties that not only aid in glycemic control but also contribute notable overall health benefits. Then, in the good tier, we include starch-free options rich in vitamins, minerals, and fiber that don't cause a sudden spike in sugar levels. Next, under consume cautiously, we group those with slightly higher levels of natural sugar, emphasizing the importance of moderation. Finally, at the lowest tier, the limited consumption tier, we gather those high in starch and recommend consuming them in small portions on special occasions, accompanied by protein and fats. Simply avoiding them altogether could also be an option. Before we begin selecting vegetables for these categories, it's important to note that all data presented refers to standardized 100-gram amounts. This way, we can compare more accurately between each one, and, to be fair and objective. But before we dive in, I want to hear from you. What's your favorite veggie, and in which category do you think it will appear? And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new diabetes-focused videos we post. Now, without further delay, let's jump into it. Let's start with spinach. This dark leafy green may not be particularly appealing to many due to its bitter taste. However, what it may lack in texture and flavor, it more than compensates for in nutrients. Believe it or not, it's one of the best choices for those with diabetes. The key highlight of spinach is its high fiber content, making digestion slower and preventing sudden spikes in sugar levels. Not to mention, it's packed with nutrients like folic acid, iron, and calcium, along with antioxidants. What's more, spinach has a low glycemic index of around 15 and a minimal amount of carbohydrates, making it a great ally in keeping your glucose levels in check. In fact, you can enjoy it in generous portions without worrying about messing with your blood sugar. So, even if it's not everyone's favorite, its impressive nutritional profile truly earns its superfood status. Brussels sprouts. These little guys bring a solid dose of fiber to the table, making them handy for keeping glucose levels in check, unlike some other veggies that pack more starch. With a low glycemic index of 15, similar to spinach, Brussels sprouts can be consumed freely by those living with diabetes thanks to being low in carbs but loaded with fiber, vitamins, and minerals. All these nutritional components, combined with their low GI, work together to stabilize blood sugar levels after meals. Moreover, Brussels sprouts come with extra nutrients and antioxidants, like alpha-lipoic acid, which studies suggest might lend a hand in improving insulin resistance. While they're pretty versatile in the kitchen, it's crucial not to overcook them, as that could strip away some of their vitamins and minerals. Still, they're solid allies for those with diabetes, and that's why I'm slotting them into the excellent choices category. Winter squash is delicious, but we need to be a bit cautious with it. In a 1-cup serving, you'll find between 10 to 19 grams of total carbohydrates. The good news is, it's also packing 2 to 3 grams of fiber per serving, which is great for keeping blood sugar in check. Winter squashes are loaded with vitamins A, C, B6, and K, plus minerals like manganese, copper, and folic acid. However, with a medium glycemic index of 51, it does have a moderate impact on blood sugar after eating. So, while it brings in some fantastic nutrients, its carb content puts it in the consume cautiously category for people with diabetes. Integrating 1 or 2 cups into your weekly routine, paired with some protein and healthy fats, can work well. Let's talk about zucchini. Can a food be as good and versatile as this? With just 3 grams of carbs per cup when cooked, it becomes an awesome low-starch alternative to pasta. Its low GI of 15, similar to spinach and Brussels sprouts, means it helps stabilize blood sugar levels and steer clear of abrupt spikes after meals. Even better, the fiber in zucchini might even help improve insulin sensitivity. And with its super low carb levels, zucchini offers up plenty of healthy choices for people with diabetes. It earns its spot in the superfood category for this condition. Snacking on nicely roasted corn can be tempting, but is it safe for people with diabetes? Well, I have some bad news for you. While it does have carbohydrates that put it moderately high on the glycemic index, its major concern lies in its high starch content. Eating corn can raise blood sugar, so individuals with diabetes need to monitor quantities and how it's prepared. Just a quick reminder, in this series, corn is referred to as a vegetable. While botanically a grain, corn is commonly used as a vegetable in culinary contexts, especially when harvested young and tender. Now, boiled or steamed corn has a glycemic index of 52, but it's sneaky because its mild taste might make you unintentionally go overboard. Things like corn cakes or canned corn crank up the risk by bringing in extra calories and fat. On the flip side, fresh or roasted corn on the cob is a better choice since it's less processed. But remember, its high glycemic index advises against excessive consumption. So, I'd label it as limited intake recommended. Once a week may be enough for those needing to manage their diabetes. Carrots aren't exactly low carb, but they pack a bunch of healthy nutrients. Vitamin A plays a crucial role in the pancreas and the production of beta cells, which are responsible for insulin secretion. Also, boiled carrots fall in the low glycemic index range, with a score between 32 to 49. However, pairing them with other carbs might bump up that index. And despite having a moderate sugar content, carrots are loaded with fiber, meaning they release carbs slowly. As a non-starchy veggie, the American Diabetes Association gives the green light for nearly unrestricted consumption for those with diabetes. So, considering their mix of carbs and fiber, along with the bonus of vitamin A, I'd say carrots fit well into the good with moderation category. Potatoes, whether they're fried, boiled, baked, or mashed, are pretty popular, but it's a good idea to keep their consumption in check if you're dealing with diabetes. Even though they bring in a good dose of potassium, B vitamins, and fiber in the skin, like other starchy foods, they can mess with your blood sugar levels. White potatoes contain a high proportion of carbohydrates, increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes and potentially impacting those already diagnosed. It's best to steer clear of the loaded options like French fries, potato chips, and other dishes swimming in fats. While people with diabetes can still have potatoes, it's a good call to limit them given their high GI of 82. I'm not saying you have to cut them out completely, but paying attention to portions and how they're prepared is key. That's why I throw them into the limited intake recommended category. Let's talk about sweet potatoes now, the cousins of white potatoes but with a few perks. Like regular potatoes, sweet potatoes do pack some carbs. However, what sets them apart is their high fiber content and lower glycemic index, which typically ranges from 44 to 91 depending on variety and cooking methods. This means they have a smaller impact on glucose levels compared to white potatoes. They're also rich in vitamin A, bringing in some key nutrients. When it comes to cooking them, boiling is the way to go. It gives them the lowest glycemic index and won't cause those quick spikes in blood sugar. But remember, they still contain carbs that can affect blood sugar levels, so it's a good idea to keep an eye on how much you're having. That's why sweet potatoes fall into the consume cautiously category. Celery. Rich in potassium, calcium, and antioxidants like vitamin C and beta-carotene, it also contains fiber and very low levels of digestible sugars. Chewing on celery sticks is unlikely to cause any big swings in your glucose levels. Actually, Thanks to its fiber and low glycemic index of 15, celery can be pretty helpful in keeping them in check. Studies have even shown it has a really low glycemic index, especially beneficial for regulating sugar, very important for older people dealing with prediabetes. But I get it, not everyone is a fan of its taste. Still, let's throw it into the excellent choices category. It's definitely a food worth adding to your diet. Broccoli. Despite its appearance, this little tree-like veggie packs quite a punch when it comes to nutrition. Broccoli has some really cool qualities. Firstly, it has a super low glycemic index of 10, making it a great choice for people with diabetes since it won't spike blood sugar levels much. Plus, its high fiber content helps with that and keeps our digestion on track. Because it's loaded with folates, broccoli also works as an antioxidant. Its natural compounds help prevent certain types of cancer and other illnesses. And like many veggies, it's low in calories, only about 38 kilocalories per 100 g, which helps us manage our weight and feel full after eating. I get it, broccoli might have been gross when we were kids, but if you cook it right, it's actually super tasty. And with such a low glycemic index, it definitely earns a spot in the superfoods category. Now, let's talk about eggplants. This one also has a bit of a bad reputation. Some people love it, while others just avoid it. But I'm pretty sure that's because they haven't figured out how to get rid of that bitter taste. But before we get into that, let me tell you about the benefits it offers. Eggplant provides very few calories and a multitude of nutrients. It contains around 21 kilocalories per 100 grams. We also need to consider that in those 100 g, there's about 94 grams of water. What's more, eggplant is low in sugars and has a glycemic index of only 15. This makes it a fantastic ally in diabetic diets. And not only that, it also contains significant amounts of vitamin B3 and minerals like phosphorus, calcium, and magnesium. They're filling too and can be grilled or baked with proteins for dinner or lunch. And about that bitter taste, just soak it in salt and wash it. Additionally, in some recipes, it works as an excellent replacement for pasta sheets. For these reasons, we're putting them in the excellent choices category. We've already talked about broccoli, so I think it's only fair to bring in its distant cousin, cauliflower, to rank it. You might not know this, but thanks to its vitamin C and potassium content, regular consumption of cauliflower can help with diabetes. These two elements regulate glucose in your blood and metabolism. When it comes to its glycemic index, it's 15, with virtually no carbohydrate load. If you eat cauliflower, you only need about 3 cups to get just 8 grams of net carbs. Another benefit of cauliflower is that it contains 3 grams of fiber per 100 grams of raw vegetables, which meets about 10% of our daily needs. And as you probably know, fiber helps control those nasty sugar spikes. But aside from controlling blood sugar, eating cauliflower is also linked to better heart health because it fights cholesterol. It's like getting 2 benefits in one. With so much going for it, I think it definitely deserves a spot in the special superfoods group. What do you think? Parsnips, or turnip root, are a white vegetable that remains largely unknown at the dinner table. But it's essentially a white carrot, at least in looks. Studies suggest they're even more nutritious than carrots, packed with vitamins B, C, E, and K, along with potassium, sodium, magnesium, phosphorus, calcium, selenium, and zinc. It's also rich in fiber, with around 7 grams of soluble fiber per 100 grams, which helps lower cholesterol levels. But here's the hidden trick. When it comes to carbohydrates, it's not all as good as it seems. For instance, a parsnip has a glycemic index of 98, almost as high as pure sugar. Just for that reason, parsnips are a food with a glycemic load too high to allow normal consumption for diabetic individuals. That's why, unfortunately, we have to place them in the limited intake recommended category. Kale truly knows how to win hearts. It has the magical ability to counteract the unwanted effects that carbohydrates have on blood sugar levels. That's what a study has shown. Regular consumption of kale could significantly reduce blood sugar levels after meals, which is particularly helpful for people with diabetes. How does it do it? For starters, these green veggies are low in calories. And because they also have low carbohydrate content and high fiber, people with diabetes can eat a lot of them without worrying about high blood sugar levels or weight gain. They also contain vitamin C and alpha-linolenic acid, which act as cardiovascular protectors. With a glycemic index of 15, kale chips taste incredible if you consume them that way. But they're so versatile that you can include them in almost anything, from sugar-free detox smoothies to soups and creams. For all these reasons and more, kale rightfully earns its place within the superfoods family. This one might make you tear up in the kitchen when you're cutting it, but don't let that scare you off. Onions are much more beneficial than you think. Yes, they have a strong smell that can bring tears to your eyes, but who can resist some onion rings? Well, I'm not saying you should eat them like that all the time. I just want you to pay attention and see how we can include them in your diet. You see, onions are rich in flavonoids that help keep your heart and arteries healthy, and they can help control those stubborn sugar levels. Red onions, in particular, can boost insulin production in the body, which is great for people with diabetes. Onions also pack a punch with minerals like calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, iron, potassium, zinc, copper, manganese, and vitamins like B-complex and C. So, they offer plenty of benefits to your body. But before you start cooking them, let me tell you that to get the most out of them, it's best to eat them raw. Why? Because their glycemic index of 15 could shoot up if we cook them. So, since I know you probably wouldn't want to eat raw onions all the time, it's best to include them in your diet in moderation. That's why this vegetable goes straight into the good with moderation category. Tomatoes. Fruit or vegetable? That age-old debate, right? Well, tomatoes have a glycemic index of 15, making them one of the fruits with the lowest glycemic index. They're even considered a vegetable in many cases. So, okay, they have a low glycemic index, and we know what that means. But what else do these red buddies offer? Well, tomatoes are packed with other benefits and nutrients like vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin C, vitamin K, and some B vitamins. They also contain potassium, calcium, iodine, zinc, magnesium, and phosphorus. Plus, they help maintain a healthy brain, muscles, and vision, protecting against cataracts and other degenerations. And it doesn't end there. Tomatoes also lower cholesterol and triglycerides and help produce red blood cells, which is a big deal for those fighting anemia. In short, tomatoes are a great choice, especially for people with diabetes, because they're slow to digest, preventing glucose levels from spiking. That's why they're in the excellent choices category. Like other legumes, peas are a surprisingly diabetic-friendly food. It contains very little natural sugar that won't cause your blood sugar to spike after eating them. Their high protein and fiber content helps keep blood sugar stable following meals. This is because the protein and fiber in peas, along with other slow-digesting carbs found in legumes, significantly slow the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. When you eat peas, your intestine gradually releases the sugars over a longer period, resulting in a gentle rise rather than a sharp increase in blood glucose levels. Despite their tiny size and sweet flavor, it's important not to overindulge in peas, as anything eaten in excess can affect blood sugar control. While their glycemic index of 22 is relatively low compared to many carb-heavy foods, it's easy to consume a high quantity of peas without realizing. We're not saying you need to avoid them completely if you have diabetes, but minding your portion of peas and pairing them with other low GI foods can help prevent any undesired spikes in blood sugar after your meal. That's why they fall into our consume cautiously tier. The last vegetable we're ranking today is red bell peppers. I've picked these because they're slightly sweeter and packed with more health-boosting nutrients compared to green peppers. They add just 27 calories per 100 grams to your diet. They're super high in vitamins, especially vitamin C, which is triple that of citrus fruits. Plus, they're loaded with dietary fiber, keeping you feeling full longer. Another great thing is that red bell peppers aid digestion and are often used in heavy meals like spicy Mexican dishes for this reason. With a glycemic index of 15 and all these benefits, they deserve a spot in the superfoods category. That's it for today's ranking. Tell us in the comments if we covered any of your favorite veggies, and if they turned out as healthy and beneficial as you expected. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any helpful health tips. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe.